Yo, what's up everyone? It's Jay here and back with another video. If you clicked on this, honestly, I already know why you're here, man. You want to be successful this year. You're tired of looking back over the previous years and seeing how much you messed up. And honestly, I'm right there with you. Every single year, it's not a competition with other people. I would say that it's a competition with myself. How can I improve? How can I get better? How can I look back at myself in the mirror and say, you know what, you changed for the better, for the positive, right? That's a sign of a leader, being able to constantly evolve. That's how you survive, evolution, right? I've been seeing videos about, the number one thing that you need to be successful in 2026. I saw this 2 years ago when it was 2024. The number one reason is holding you back. And I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I said to myself, what is it that's holding me back? Because there was honestly a point in time in my life where I wasn't on my A game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would procrastinate a lot. Procrastinate. I wouldn't get the things done that I needed to get done. And it happened every single day. There's sometimes I would just sit in my room, right? And I wouldn't do anything the entire day. I would just sit there on my phone. But I got tired of that eventually. And it's not that I was lazy. It almost felt like there was something holding me back. And I said to myself, what is it that's holding me back from being who I want to be? I didn't want to sit in bed all day. I didn't want to procrastinate. I didn't want to waste time. I didn't want to do half-effort jobs. I wanted to give my all, but it felt like there was something holding me back. And I want to say about a year and a half ago, I finally figured out what it was. You see, our minds, we thrive on constant visual feedback. That's why people, when they go to the gym, they like to see pumps because it validates their workout. If you go to the gym, man, and you see a pump, you're like, oh my gosh, man, I'm swole, I'm doing this thing, right? You ever think about why that is? That's because our minds are evolved to require visual stimulation, right? It's the same thing with procrastination and, just achieving your goals. If you don't have a visual cue, if you don't have visual feedback about what you're doing and if you're doing something right, then your mind, it can be hard for your mind to follow through. And that's what was going on with me. I didn't have a clue in the world. I didn't even know what my goal was, honestly. I was just drifting day in, day out, a cycle with no finish line, no start line. That's discouraging. But when I sat down, and I talked about this in another video, when I sat down and I really thought about where I wanted to be in life, when I looked at my surroundings, I finally figured out my goal. I finally figured out what I wanted to do. And we don't even have to discuss that. The moral of this mini story is that when you have a vision, then everything that you do becomes easier. When you have a vision for where you want to be in life, when you have a vision for even what you want the next two or 6 months to look like, then it becomes easier for you to be successful. It becomes easier for you to execute. That's why some people, they have posters on their wall. Not all of it's art, a lot of it is motivation. That's why, if you go in some people's rooms, you'll see maybe a picture of a famous athlete or something like that. It's motivation for where they want to be. It's motivation for where they want to be in life. That's the key to be successful. That's the key to being successful. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little tired right now, but I'm still filming this video. Even me, I don't always feel like doing it, but I have a vision in my mind. I have a goal. So even when I don't feel like it, I'm still doing it, right? There was recently a power outage and some things got messed around, but we're doing it. Even still, we're doing it, right? I know that I'll look back on this one day and I'll say, you know what, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for filming, even if my internet went out, even if there was a power outage. I'm proud that I still got up and I executed. You have to think about your future self. Everyone puts their current self forward. That's why it's so easy to eat junk food. That's why it's so easy to skip a workout. That's why it's so easy to procrastinate, because you think about how you feel now, but you don't think about how you'll feel in the future. If you want to be successful in 2026, number one, like I just told you guys, right? You better be taking notes, right? Make sure that you have a vision. It's very hard to be disciplined if you don't have a vision, right? Discipline, I would say that discipline is the fuel for where you want to go. But having a vision is the GPS. If you just have discipline, what are you being disciplined for? You need to have a goal. You need to have a vision, right? Number two, you need to think outside of your current environment. You need to think bigger than where you are now. If you start out and you're at the bottom, you need to envision yourself already at the top. You need to envision yourself with pride. Take pride in yourself. When you go to the gym, you don't always feel like doing it, but envision yourself in your prime version. Whatever you want, let's say you want bigger shoulders or something like that, envision yourself with those shoulders. Every time you train, make sure that you have not only a goal, but you have that drive to actually achieve. And I promise you that you'll see success. It's impossible not to. When I see people talk about how they tried something and it didn't work, one of the biggest things that I notice is that they never had a goal for where they wanted to be. A lot of people, they've already achieved success. If you're watching this, there's a high likelihood that you've already been successful at what you're doing. But our mind has this tendency to judge the negatives over the positives, right? Make sure that you have a vision for your life, and make sure that you think beyond where you currently are. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this was valuable to you guys. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, and make sure to subscribe. All right, peace, y'all. I'll see you in the next video.